closing in on number one on on my fancy playlist of week of July 24th, 1999. I want to play what I call a top 40 extra. I got a whole bunch of top 40 extras. Looking over this playlist, I added two records. There's one by Enrique Iglesias, it's Smile by Vitamin C, but I've got at least about 20-25 top 40 extras on my fancy playlist, including songs that will eventually make the top 40, like the N-word by Limp Bizkit, the Nookie word, and there was Bewitched, Blame It on the Weather. Man, that was a beautiful record there from either Scotland or Ireland, I believe, Bewitched, and It's All About You by Tracy Spencer, and Swirl 360 on here, Groove Amada, Kid Rock, Sheryl Crow, Sweet Child of Mine. I'd forgotten about her version of that. But the top 40 extra I want to play for you is a group from Norway. They call themselves Babelfish. And they formed back in the late 80s. They were influenced by the Beatles, Crowded House, and Kate Bush. They started out as a cover band, and they were also studio musicians, and they recorded a couple of singles, including Light of Day, and also the one I'm going to play for you called Mania. This was back in the late 90s. Now, they called themselves The Daily Planet, but then they changed their name to Babelfish, and they marketed a couple of their records, the ones that I mentioned. What was the name of the record again? Mania and Light of Day. They marketed the records, and they got a deal with Atlantic Records. And when they got that deal with Atlantic Records, their album was already halfway done, and they put out the song Babel, or Mania rather, and that is featured on the soundtrack for Dawson Creek. Whoa, haven't heard that TV show in a long time. Never watched it, but I understand it was a pretty popular TV show back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Well, here it is. This is Babelfish with Mania, a top 40 extra on my fancy playlist, July 24th, 1999.